Yeah, coming at y'all with another video. Starting off in the book of Ecclesiastes 1 and 4. And it reads, "One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever." So the earth is always going to be here. So with that, we're going to go to the book of John 14 and 2. And it reads, "In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you." So this is Yahweh Shah speaking in the spirit, and he's telling them, the Israelites, that he's going to go and prepare a place for us. Although that when it all clears, when the smoke clears, we're going to be ruling the planet Earth once again. But the Lord is actually going to put together and give us planets the way we can go from the Earth to the different planets whenever we please. Because this is the gifts, the spiritual gifts and the physical gifts of following Yahweh, the commandments. So from now we're going to go to Genesis 1 and 2. And it reads, Genesis 1 and 1, "In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of Yahweh moved upon the face of the waters. And Yahweh said, Let there be light, and there was light." So this is going into how the planet Earth was put together. This is the same way that the Lord, Yahweh Shah, and the angels is putting together these other planets. So with that, I want to show y'all this video. And before I show y'all this video, I would like to say that to continue to subscribe to my channel, hit that notification button. I do appreciate all the support that my brothers and sisters is providing for me on my page. And this is how I'm showing it back to y'all, by giving y'all videos that y'all can actually learn from.
Earth has a brand new neighbor, sort of. This picture, taken by a giant telescope in Chile, shows the birth of a new planet. It's that bright light just to the right of the black circle in the center. It's called PDS 70, about 370 light years from Earth, and it's growing quickly. Astronomers think it's several times larger than Jupiter already. It's also much hotter than any planet in our solar system, with a surface temperature of 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit.
These eerie things are absolutely impossible on our planet, even in the wildest imagination. But as practice shows, what is impossible with us is still possible on other planets. Let's look at ordinary rain as an example. Rain is usually cold and gloomy, and very, very wet. And in general, the Earth's rain, well, it's boring. The rain of stones on planet Korat 7b, however, is quite another matter. We wouldn't be bored there. It's very, very hot on one half of this strange space object. The surface temperature reaches 4,700 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about 2,600 degrees Celsius. And that's more than enough to make the rocks melt and then evaporate like puddles of water here on Earth. At the same time, the other half of the planet is relatively cool at about 3,500 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about 1,900 degrees Celsius. So, the rocks evaporate and then condense into huge stone clouds under the hellish temperatures on the hot half of the planet. And then these clouds fall as rains of magma heading back to the surface. On the relatively cooler side of the planet, the rain made of magma solidifies into stones before hitting the surface. This is real stone rain. Can you imagine seeing this with your own eyes? But wait, this next place will astonish you even more. HD 189773b is an exoplanet located 63 light years from us. It's slightly larger than Jupiter in size, and most likely you will agree with me if I say that it looks awesome. Can you possibly imagine what fantastic appearance is due to the fact that the atmosphere of the planet consists mainly of silicate particles. Think sand or glass. It also rains at a temperature of 1700 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 930 degrees Celsius. And it has winds that often reach 5,400 miles per hour. That's 8,700 kilometers per hour, which is 7 times faster than the speed of sound. This is even more terrifying than the rains on the previous planet. Here, they're as clean as glass. Just imagine the scene. Clouds are coming from behind the horizon. Echoes of thunder crack through. The wind surges to a speed of 1.24 miles per second. And finally, the sky explodes with pouring rain. Masses of glass are tearing through the atmosphere and into you at insane speeds. If such a storm suddenly arose on Earth at the same wind speed, it would fly around our planet at the equator in just 5 hours and 33 minutes. Local residents would feel it quite powerfully. But speaking of winds, really, this is nothing. This puny little storm is just a breeze compared to the wind that blows on planet HD 189733b. The temperature on the solar-facing side of the gas giant often reaches a mind-boggling 1770 degrees Fahrenheit, and the temperature on the dark side is usually no lower than 1270 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 700 degrees Celsius. The small temperature difference between the two sides is due to the extremely fast winds, which here reach a fantastic 21,747 miles per hour, which is 6 miles or 10 kilometers per second, almost 29 times faster than the speed of sound. That's some wind. As I said in one of my past videos, the fastest wind ever recorded on Earth was during a tornado in Oklahoma in 1999, and its speed reached just 300 miles per hour, which is 73 times less than the usual average breeze on HD 189733b. If you had wings or a parachute, or even just a normal umbrella, you could fly around the entire planet in about an hour and 8 minutes just by opening that umbrella. But something tells me that your body would probably suffer some terrible indignities long before that. Stones falling from the sky, 5,400 degree temperature, glass rain faster than the speed of sound. You know, the more I learn about this, the less I have doubts about the existence of hell. I left off early the last episode on the topic of shadows, so let's continue. Let's imagine that there's a place where the rays from 2 suns wake you up in the morning. You could also watch 2 or even 3 sunsets at almost the same time in the evening. Previously, it seemed like a fantasy and was possible only in Star Wars, until we discovered the amazing Kepler-16b exoplanet, which orbits in a system of 2 stars in the Cygnus constellation. 2 suns rise and set on the horizon of this planet. And if my shadow was suffering the despair of loneliness here on Earth, then on Kepler-16b it would have a friend. Although, most likely, if I could somehow teleport to this planet, then in a moment I would certainly die from the heat and lack of air. But if you allow me the luxury of a super-duper spacesuit, and I somehow stayed alive, in general, 2 suns and 2 shadows is certainly cool, but not as cool as 3 suns and 3 shadows. Astronomers have discovered an even more amazing object, HD 131998b, relatively recently. This new planet broke all previous records. It revolves around 3 suns at once. It also has a giant mass, 4 times larger than Jupiter's, and an unusually long orbit. A 1-year revolution of the exoplanet around its 3 stars takes 550 of our terrestrial